What's up? I'm Jim Fro and welcome to our new YouTube channel, Ready Check Pull Guides. In this video, we're going to quickly take you through all of the new changes coming in Season 1 of Marvel Rivals, so let's jump into it. Alright, first up, we got Captain America, and they're saying that Captain America is going to receive some enhanced survivability, allowing for more frequent entering and exiting of combat. The first thing that they're doing is they're reducing the delay time for shield restoration after releasing Living Legend from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. So basically what that means is that when you put your shield up, drop it 1, 2, it's back. Boom. All right. Reducing the Liberty Rush cooldown from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. So that is his F ability. Boom. It is now 10 seconds. Used to be 12 seconds. Love to see it. They increased his base health from 650 to 675, and they reduced the energy cost from releasing his ultimate from 3,400 to 3,100. What that means is that you'll basically just be getting your ultimate a lot more, so you'll be able to do a lot more cool stuff more often. You'll be assembling more often. All right, next up is Doctor Strange, and they say that they'll be reducing the threat range and increase the defense window of Doctor Strange. And the way that that reads is that they're adding damage fall off to Maelstrom of Madness and Gamma Maelstrom, your E ability, starting at 5 meters and reducing to 70% at 8 meters. So you're still going to get full value out of your E ability. Let's get the full energy real quick. Boom. Okay, you're at full energy. You're still going to, right here, about 5 meters. But when you're like right here, it's going to fall off to about 70%. So we basically do less damage the farther you are away with your E ability. So you're going to want to be as close as possible whenever you're getting your E ability off. So whenever it comes up, just make sure that you are in melee range to get the full value. And then they also said that they're slightly decreasing the shield value recovery rate after releasing Shield of Seraphim from 80 a second to 70 a second. So it's going to take you a little bit longer to get your shield up to full. So if you see on the right side of the left side of the screen, it's going to do 70 a second instead of 80 a second. So it's going to take you a little bit longer to get your shield all the way back to 800. Next up is Thor. The God of Thunder could use some slightly increased survivability and improve the success rate of his ultimate ability. So in the patch notes, it says that they increased his health from 500 to 525. I don't know if that's a typo because in game right now it's at 625. So it's either a bug in game or a typo in the patch notes. I'm assuming it's a typo in the patch notes. They added immunity to control effects during his ultimate. So when you have your ultimate cast, you will no longer be able to be stunned or slowed, making it way easier to land your ults. All right, next up is Dr. Banner / Hulk. Dr. Banner has been dominant, but some decreased sustained combat capability upon entering the battlefield will bring him more in line with other Vanguard heroes. Reduced the indestructible guard gamma shield value for Hulk from 250 to 200. So let's start hulking out real quick. That basically just means that your shift ability now for Hulk alone, so it's not going to affect the other heroes that end up getting your shield, but for Hulk alone it is going to go from 250 to 200, so his sustain is going to be dropped a little bit, but it's not going to be so crazy. Next up we have Venom. With increased survivability and the threat of his ultimate ability, the symbiote menace will strike fear into the backlines of all enemy teams, increasing the symbiotic resilience bonus health ratio gained per lost health from 1 to 1.2, which means that when he gets low on HP, the lower he is, instead of gaining 1 per health point loss, he's going to gain 1.2. So let's just drop his health down a little bit more. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Pop that E ability, and it's going to be 1.2 from 1, making it so that you can have a bigger shield more often. They also increased the base damage of his ultimate from 40 to 50. So his ultimate will be doing a little bit more damage, a little bit more base damage. Easy peasy. All right, moving to the duelist. Black Panther has a little bit of survivability reduced. So when you throw one of his spears and you charge, you get some bonus health down at the bottom there. You see it in blue. It is now 30 instead of 40 per target. So if you were to hit 2 targets and then charge through them, you now get 360 instead of 380. So at a maximum of 75 from 120. Next, we got Black Widow. Black Widow was very much in need of optimization when evaluating the release experience of her abilities, as well as a slightly increase to the threat of her ultimate ability. Increase the range of the first effect of Edge Dancer from 3-meter radius to 5-meter radius. Before, when you kicked, you weren't able to pull at max distance of the kick, which felt real clunky. Now, when you kick, you can pull right away. Super duper awesome. Reduces the time required for Fleet Foot to recover from 0 stamina to full from 12 seconds to 4 seconds. So when she runs around, before it took a full 12 seconds. Oh, we're running. It used to take a full 12 seconds. Now, takes 4 seconds. Way better. Mobility is going to be cracked out. Reduce the time required for Electroplasma Explosion, her ultimate ability to reach max charge from 1 second. Okay, so she has her ultimate. You then charge it up. And now it takes 0.6 seconds, so half the time basically, to charge up to full. Before it used to take a full second. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, moving on to Hawkeye. Here's a big one. We'll be decreasing the medium long range damage capability, reducing the threat combat radius, and slightly improving the close combat resistance for the Hawkeye. Slightly reduce the spread angle between every 2 blast arrows. So let's go into Hawkeye.
I can't miss.
They slightly reduce the range of every 2 blast arrows.
Another one for the good guys.
I can't tell the difference, to be honest. Reduce the trigger and distance of passive ability Archer Focus from 60 meters to 40 meters, and reduce the maximum additional damage of the passive. So basically, they're making it so that when this glows purple, boom, purple, it now does less damage. And they're also making it so that you have to be closer. So you can no longer, so right here, trying to hit here, nope, no purple. If I move up a little bit, purple. So they made it so you have to be closer, so you're going to have to be more of a threat to melee characters and things like that. And they're also making it so that the damage is reduced by 10. So no more long-range football field headshots. Bang. Awesome. For Hela, they are basically just reducing the base health from 275 to 250. There's not much of a change there, nothing really to talk about. For Magik, they're increasing the Umbril Incursion damage in Darkchild from 115 to 135. So, hop into Magik. Let's go get our ult real quick. So, you pop your ult. You hit E. That now does 135 instead of 115. So now her E does just a little bit more damage. Actually, a lot more damage. All right, now we're moving on to Moon Knight. The Hand of Khonshu will receive a slight increase in the threat of his abilities. Increases the number of talons generated from Hand of Khonshu. His ultimate ability from 10 to 14, so he's going to get a lot more little hands dropping down, and increases the explosion radius of each talon from 4 to 5 meters. Let's go grab his ult real quick. You dropped his ult. Now it's getting a bunch. Boom, 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 boom. Way more hands dropping down, and they also do more of an explosion than they did before.
The moon haunts you.
Awesome. All right, moving on to Namor. We're optimizing the throwing feel of his eggs, adjust the throwing feel of his Monstro spawn and Frozen spawn, which basically means that his eggs are going to be a lot easier to get into the position that you want them to be in. Yeah, I think that does feel much better.
That's 3.
Whoa, nice.
Wow, 4 in a row.
Let's go. All right, we're moving on to Psylocke. We'll be providing more options for other heroes to counter the Demon Slayer's ultimate. So Psylocke's ultimate was a little bit oppressive whenever you did it. There was really no countering this. You just took a bunch of damage. There was literally nothing you could do to try to target where her damage went to, right? So now when someone puts a bubble on top of them, the ultimate will target the bubble before it targets a hero without a bubble. So it just gives a little bit more counterplay. All right, now we're moving on to the Punisher.
Weapons
We're
are
slightly
tools,
increasing the damage
and
capability
I
of Frank's weapons,
craftsman.
slightly reduce the spread of deliverance and adjudication. So the spread of his machine gun and the spread of his shotgun is going to be less.
That's 3.
A little bit easier to get these
Wow, four in a
headshots,
row.
and they're not going to go all over the place. Awesome. All right, now moving on to Scarlet Witch. So we're increasing Scarlet Witch's combat strength when she's facing duelists and strategists. So when she is doing her left click, which is her primary fire, we're increasing the Chaos Control's fixed damage from 50 a second to 60 a second. So now it just does a little bit more damage, making it so that she can take these 1v1 duels. Reduce the percentage damage per second from 5% to 3%. So on targets that are not Vanguard, so they don't have a bunch of health, it does more damage based on how much health a hero has. So the larger health heroes, it does more damage per second. Now it's going to do less damage, basically making it so that it does the same damage that it did before to Vanguard heroes, but for duelists and strategists, it's going to do more damage, allowing her to take those 1v1s. Increase Chthonian burst projectile damage from 30 to 35. So what that means is that her right click is now doing 35 a hit rather than 30.
Double KO.
So she's basically just getting a big boost to be able to duel these 1v1s while keeping her damage to tanks roughly the same. All right, moving on to Storm. The Weather Witch needs an overall increase to her damage capabilities. We're also optimizing the feel of her left click, projectile, and the release experience of her ultimate ability. Okay, so let's test her left click.
I see that.
Feels so much better. Oh my god.
3.
Okay, so what they do, they increase the wind blade projectile speed from 100 meters a second to 150 meters a second, and left click damage from 50 to 55. So basically, this is moving way faster,
Good hunting.
and it's doing more damage. It feels so much better. Increases bolt rush damage from 70 to 80. So bang, 70 to 80.
That's
Perfect.
3.
They rode the light.
After releasing her ultimate, the bonus health provided for herself will be increased from 350 to 450. Moreover, following its conclusion, the extra health will no longer vanish instantly, but instead diminish at a rate of 100 per second. Thank the Lord. This was insane. So you pop your ultimate, you get a whole bunch of health, and before, as soon as you were out of your ultimate, you lost it, and now you're going to lose it over time, which gives her more time to get back to safety so that she doesn't just get owned right after her ultimate, or actually have to waste some of her ultimate to get back to safety before it's over. That's an awesome change. All right, moving on to Squirrel Girl. We're increasing the threat of Squirrel Girl and her furry friends in her ultimate ability. So addition of a new effect to the unbeatable squirrel tsunami, her ultimate ability. The squirrel will rush towards the nearest enemy after bouncing instead of bouncing randomly. Let's test this out. So, goes right there, now it goes towards.
It's a squirrel.
Okay, there it goes.
Got him, Tippy.
So it's going toward enemies rather than randomly. Awesome. Much needed. Now, what happens if I don't? What if I go like this?
Squirrel stampede!
Yeah, it starts to target. Yep. And it's gonna go to this one. Yep. Yeah, that's really good. And they reduce the Squirrel Tsunami health from 600 to 300, so it makes it a lot easier for heroes to target it down, you know, as some counterplay. Next, we're moving on to Winter Soldier. Increase the bonus health provided by Bionic Hook and Tainted Voltage from 30 to 40. So when you right click, you now gain more health. And when you use your E, you now gain more health.
Double KO.
And of course, it's stacked.
That's 3.
Bang. Increase Rotter Stern's projectile damage from 70 to 75. Basically just making him do straight up more damage. Reduce the area damage from 70 to 65, so it does a little bit of splash damage around the target. That's now reduced, so his overall group team damage is going to be a little bit less, but he's doing better 1v1 damage. And they're making the decay fall off go from 65% to 60%. So you're gonna be doing 60% of the damage at long range rather than 65% of the damage at long range. So a little bit hit to his long range, same as Hawkeye. And they're increasing his base health from 250 to 275. So he's just gonna be way stronger close range. He's gonna have a lot more tools to be able to survive. He's going to be doing a bunch more damage, and they just reduced his long-range damage altogether. Moving on to Wolverine. So Logan will receive an increase to basic combat strength, but a slight decrease to the additional survivability after activating Undying Animal. So they're increasing his health from 300 to 350 baseline, and they're reducing the amount of damage reduction he gets from his E ability. So he'll be taking 40% reduced damage rather than 50%.
You're out of your league.
So just shifting some of his damage reduction potential from his E ability to his overall health pool. All right, moving on to Strategist. We're going to Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger will receive an increase to their healing capability as well as an expansion to the coverage area of her ultimate ability. All right, so when you right click, your cooldown is now 12 seconds instead of 15 seconds, and the number of times that you do a little torpedo is now 4, up from 3. So you do 4 torpedo charges instead of 3, which is actually crazy. Moving on to Jeff, the Land Shark. We'll be adjusting the range of his abilities so it now better fits the warning marker. In addition, we'll also be increasing his healing capability. Adjust its Jeff, which is his ultimate ability, range from 10-meter sphere to a 10-meter radius and a 5-meter high cylindrical field. I think they're just making it so that it's more consistent for people that are outside of that like bubble range. So let's test this out. See if we see any indicator. No, it's basically the same thing. The only thing that they're doing is making it so that heroes that are flying and they're right on that little edge, it was like a dome, so it did like this where it curved down. Now it's just gonna be brink, brink. Okay, and increase the healing of Joyful Splash from 140 a second to 150 a second. So this is now pumping the healing. Actually kind of crazy that they did that, but good change. Next hero is Luna Snow. While we've enjoyed her dropping the base, we've made adjustments to Luna's ultimate ability to prevent players from abusing its healing capability. Increase the interval for switching between healing and damage in her ultimate from 0.1 second to 0.5 seconds. So a lot of people were abusing her ultimate, basically
ready to put on a
just
show.
constantly swapping, and it was going. Now it's making it so that you have to choose between one or the other. So you're not going to be able to get the healing and the damage bonus at the same time. That was a little broken. Now this is a sad day for Mantis mains because for Mantis, we'll be making Mantis a bit less fleet-footed, reducing the roaming support capabilities. So they reduce the Nature's Favor passive movement bonus from 2.5 meters a second to 1.5 meters a second, which means that she is going to be quite a bit slower. So making it so that it's a little bit harder to hit off angles. It takes a little bit longer to get back to your team. Boo. But probably needed. She was actually dominating the off angles. All right, moving on to Rocket. Rocket could use an enhancement to his healing capability, increasing the healing of repair mode from 60 per second to 70 per second. So
I'll patch you up.
his right click is now just going to do more healing per second than it used to. All right, now we're moving to the team up abilities. We're going to start with Hawkeye and Black Widow. To further tone down Hawkeye's oppression, we'll be reducing the seasonal buff. Reduce Hawkeye's seasonal bonus from 20% to 15%. So
Purple's not so funny now, is it?
I don't know what that does. He's still going to be doing some crazy damage when he's with Black Widow. Now we're moving on to Hela, Thor, and Loki. Much like Hawkeye, Hela's overwhelming power will be receiving a slight reduction. Reduce Hela's seasonal bonus from 20% to 15%. So she'll just be doing a little bit less damage when she has her team up bonus. Okay, now we're moving to Luna Snow and Namor. We'll be increasing the threat of Namor's frozen spawn, increasing frozen spawn damage from 25 to 27, increasing the spawn slowing effect applied to hit enemies from 25% to 30%, and increasing the berserk state of frozen spawn damage from 16 to 18. So you have your regular eggs, and when Luna's in the game, you have his frozen eggs. These frozen eggs are going to be doing crazy damage, crazy slows, and all that good jazz. Good change. He needed the problem. Moving on to Rocket Raccoon, the Punisher, and Winter Soldier. So one of Rocket's best tools will be available more often. Reduce the cooldown of Animo Invention from 45 seconds to 40 seconds. So if Rocket's in the game, he's going to drop his little armor crate, and now you do unlimited damage, or sorry, unlimited ammo while you're in it, and the projectiles shoot faster, and it's just basically like you're getting a crazy bonus. It's going to be up more often, every 40 seconds rather than every 45 seconds. So this is going to be a pretty crazy team up combo. Next, we're going to be moving on to Scarlet Witch and Magneto. A bit underwhelming, the damage capability of this father-daughter team-up ability will be enhanced. Increase metallic fusion projectile damage from 55 to 60, and increase metallic fusion spell field damage from 30 to 35. So basically, when you hit C, you're going to be doing more damage to heroes and shields.
Double KO. That's 3.
Pretty sweet. Okay, moving on to Thor, Storm, and Captain America. So when you're Storm, we'll be enhancing the damage capability of Storm's side of this team-up ability, reducing the cooldown of Charged Gale from 20 seconds to 15 seconds, and increasing the damage of Charged Gale from 50 to 55. So whenever you hit C, it now is a 15-second cooldown rather than a 20-second cooldown, and it does 55 damage rather than 50 damage. And bang! And that's pretty much it. If you know anything about Ready Check Pull, you know we make the best guides through multiple games, and we're now going to be tackling even more games on this new channel. So check out the guides that we already have on the channel and join the Patreon if you want to support what we're doing. More stuff will be coming there soon. Peace.